Dear Zabu, how are you? I am a big fan of you in Babylon. I was wondering if I could get your advice on something. I'm 22 years old, married, and we just had our first child, my daughter, this past year in July. We live in beautiful East Tennessee and are actually closing in on a legit 5-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. Sounds fancier than what it really is. I do work a day job, but I'm also an entrepreneur at night, and blessed to say that within the next year or two, I can officially leave my day job and become a full-time entrepreneur with our own business. Which brings me to my question. I've been a furry, or a closet furry I guess, since roughly early 2014. I never told anyone that I'm a furry or am a part of the furry fandom. I don't normally bring it up in conversations with my family, friends, or anyone from the business team my wife and I are working with. The only ones that I've told are my wife, my best friend of 14 years, and one recent local furry friend I made last year. All of which I didn't think much of it and actually enjoyed the fact I shared something with them that I enjoyed or am passionate about. I want to also tell my parents, but I am completely unsure if I should do this. How so? This past year we have rekindled a relationship with one another, especially my mother and I. Through a series of past events, I'd rather not talk about it. We grew apart. I'm not ashamed of the furry fandom and currently do not own a fursuit, but I do plan on getting one long down the road and want their support. My wife and I personally don't think it's a big deal. We're anime nerds and we cosplay as well, but I'm just nervous that they will want nothing to do with me. My mother is a very strict, proper, but open-minded person. My father is a lot more laid back but more closed-minded to things he doesn't understand. Example, cosplaying, anime, etc. I guess I'm just wondering how should I approach telling them I love animals and cartoons, so part of me thinks that they will be already aware of it, but another part of me wonders if they would be ashamed and close me off and ruin our relationship. Maybe I'm just overthinking everything, but I was wondering what advice you could offer. Plus, did your parents know if you and Babylon are furries? If so, how do they react and has anything changed? Thank you for your time. Big fan. Hope to hear from you.
What's going on, my fellow fuzzbutts? ZabuTheSergal here, and I'm back with another video just to educate my people. And today we're gonna kick it off with another episode of Zabu giving advice. Alright, so first things first, since you guys already are in that, kind of cosplaying field and like anime fans and stuff like that, then kind of meandering into the whole furry situation will be a whole lot easier because it's not something that's completely left field and completely out of the blue. It's like, it's in that same ballpark. Like, a lot of otaku can relate to the furry fandom because it's a lot of like-minded people on the inside. With that being said, that's one of the things that you can approach them with. Just let them know, like, hey, the furry fandom is a lot like the anime fandom. It's just people sharing a common interest. That's all there is to it. And you can use the fursuits as like the catalyst behind your argument, I guess you could say. But one of the easiest ways to explain a fursuit to someone on the outside is use the term mascot. Now, I know that our fursuits look a lot better than mascots. They're better made than mascot suits, but that's an easy, identifiable thing that you can use that people are already familiar with. Because, when you say fursuit, it can kind of, rouse a bunch of different thoughts and perspectives and stuff, and we'll just kind of keep it simple, short, and to the point. You can say that this fandom circles around these mascot suits, and, we just wear them to entertain. That's like the simplest way to put it. And of course, they're gonna, give you that kind of weird side eye as they're still trying to kind of figure out exactly what you're saying. Trying to process all that information like, not too familiar with this whole furry thing, but hey, whatever. And I'm pretty sure that it won't be something that they'll just be like, oh, you got one of those, you're gonna get one of those suits, that's absolutely unacceptable. Shouldn't be like that because, like I say, it's a lot like cosplaying. It's just something that you do in your spare time, and of course these things are very expensive, and if your life is put together well enough to be able to buy a fursuit, then by all means that's something good in and of itself. And when it comes to fandoms and stuff like that, there's worse things you could be doing. You could be homeless on the streets, or you could be selling heroin or anything of that nature, but you decide you want to put on this fluffy costume and sweat your face off while you're just kind of romping around. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what's going on. Just let them know that that's pretty much what we do. We put on the suit, sweat profusely, but we have fun while we're doing it. Sounds kind of weird from the outside looking in. It's just like, why would you have fun, like, overheating or whatever, but it's like you have to be in on it to understand like the thrill that comes with the fursuits. And yeah, of course, fursuiting is not the main aspect of the furry fandom, it's just the anthropomorphic animals in general, but you can use fursuits as an easy identification for the outsiders looking in, because it is one of the biggest parts of the furry fandom. It's the fursuits and the art. Those are like the two main things. But you can use fursuits to kind of, you know, soften the blow a little bit, because, you know, most of the fursuits are kind of cute and cuddly and bubbly and just all fluffy all up in your face. And yes, both my and Babby's parents were quite okay with us being part of the furry fandom. Well, my mom specifically, she is very artistic. She draws and does stuff like that herself. So she's already on board with whenever I would cosplay or, you know, fursuiting and stuff like that. She wants to get involved more and trying to think of ways to get her involved. But yeah, she's 100% on board with the furry fandom. And in Babby's case, her parents said, hey, as long as she's not out doing drugs or something crazy like that, then hey, putting on a suit and romping around, that's perfectly fine with them. So yeah, just let them know the things that I told you, and hopefully they, you know, kind of take it within a grain of salt and they don't get all bent out of shape about it or for whatever reason. But yeah, that'll probably be the best course of action for that situation. And to any guys out there that need some advice or just kind of need to get pointed in a specific direction, my email, ZabuGivesAdvice@yahoo.com, is down in the dibbly below. You know, just let me know what's going on. You know, just kind of keep it, you know, you can keep it short and sweet, or you can, you know, fully explain it if you need to. But like I say, I'm only going to read the meat of the message. But for right now, I'm going to go ahead and close this. So if you like this video, go ahead and scratch that like button so that I can know to post some more awesome content in the future. You want to talk to me? Have some Twitter. You want to stay updated as well as know when the next Q&A is going to be? Have some Discord. Want to draw fan art, ZabuTheSergal fan artists, always welcome. Keep it PG-13. But as always, my name is ZabuTheSergal, and I'm out of here. La 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 la.